Hello everyone! Today I'm going to go over the abandoned Skyscale eggs, which is the first step to unlocking your Skyscale. To get started, you will first need to complete the Who Rescues Whom mastery track. This will immediately unlock a new friend collection, and you'll also get some in-game mail from our Maps Skyscale trainer. Our first step is finding an abandoned Skyscale egg. This seems to be RNG, so you may need to check a couple of nests, or maybe you need to check all of them. Time stamps below, and I'm starting with the SKYWATCH Archipelago map. For our first nest, we are heading west from the Beacon of Ages waypoint, starting from the Skyscale trainer. Next, we are in devastated Garenhoff, heading to the west side of the island, and I took the Garenhoff refugee camp waypoint. Next, we are heading north from the Garenhoff refugee camp waypoint towards Stargaze Ridge. For our fourth nest, we are heading to the Soaring Aerie. I came from Radanova's Promenade Island end waypoint and followed the Skyscale Red Orb Trail. The fifth and sixth nests are around the same area, so we are going to start from Droknar's light waypoint and heading northwest. And heading from the fifth nest, we are going to be flying under the Wizard's Tower for our sixth nest. For number 7, I went south from the Droknar's light waypoint. Next up, we are in the Jade Mech Habitation Zone number 3, heading west from the Kestrel's Vow waypoint. I find the Jadebot ziplines the quickest, but you can also get up here with a mount as well. Next, we are in the Skyward Marches, heading southwest from the Astral Ward encampment waypoint, or south from our last nest. Again in the Skyward Marches, this time coming west from the Astral Ward encampment waypoint. And our last nest in this map, we are heading south from the devastated Garenhoff Vista and making our way up to this island here. Now on to Omnitask map. For our first nest, we are heading south from the Bastion of the Natural Waypoint. Next, we are heading west from the Bastion of the Natural Waypoint. Onward to the World Spire nest, which is south of the Bastion of the Celestial Waypoint. This nest is on a ledge, so I'm actually going to just jump down from the top of the spire so that you can have a better view. Next, we are heading west from the Bastion of the Balance waypoint. I will be heading from across the nest on the obscure side, just so you can get a better view. And now we are heading southeast from the Bastion of the Balance waypoint. Next, we are heading east from the Bastion of the Obscure waypoint. My path is a little all over the place. I was just trying to figure out how to get outside. Next, we are heading south from the Bastion of Knowledge waypoint. Our next nest, we are heading northwest from the Bastion of Strength waypoint. And for our last nest, we are heading north from the Bastion of Strength waypoint. Hello everyone! Today I'm going over the Skyscale egg infusions as part of a new friend collection. We left off looking for abandoned Skyscale eggs, and once you get yours, talk to trainer Diane, who will unlock 3 additional collections. Today we will be focusing on Skyscale Egg Infusion Collection, which, if you talk to trainer Diane, you can buy the infusions if you have the materials. Otherwise, here is how to get the infusions for your egg. Starting with the Skyscale of Water, heading to the Blood Tide Coast and taking the Castavel waypoint.
It's terrible! Those poor explorers are trapped by the Orions. Please, help us get them out!
I'm using my skimmer only because it is easier to go straight down. We can see the Skyscale collection on the mini-map. We are heading underneath the ship and at the very, very bottom and interacting with the infusion. Next is Skyscale of Fire. We are heading to the Black Citadel, taking the Junker's waypoint, and heading into the Great Imperial Smelter, where we will jump in. Next is the Skyscale of Ice. You can head to the Bitterfrost Frontier and take the Sorrow's Eclipse waypoint and look for an ice storm and step in it. This is probably the quickest route, but you can also get it during the Claw of Jormag world boss, and since you do need to do 4 world bosses for the Egg of Courage, that is another option as well. For the Skyscale of Earth, we are heading to Drytop and taking the Prosperity waypoint. And then jumping into the Quickstand. For the Skyscale of Air, we are heading to Mount Maelstrom. I'll have an image linked in the timestamps below for all the Keeper locations. There are 4. You only need to defeat 1 and a portal will open up taking you to the jumping puzzle. But do not worry, we're not doing the entire area, just the wind portion.
Spoils of battle.
Depending on the portal that you took, you might not spawn exactly where I am, but we're going to head north regardless of where you spawn. And once at the top, we are going to infuse. For the Skyscale of Life, you need to revive 20 allies, and this does include NPCs. All I did was go to a world boss event, since you need 4 anyways for your Skyscale of Courage, and along the pre-event and while I waited, I revived NPCs, and then during the event, I revived fellow players. Before the event even was done, I had my infusion. For Skyscale of Blood, we are heading to Genadarin Fields, taking the Blood Hill waypoint and killing 100 enemies within the Blood Hill camp. The event south does not count, I did check. You can see your progress with a little achievement icon right on your buff bar, and this will count up to 100 for you.
Weakness makes me sick.
For Skyscale of Growth, it is found in the Grove. We're going to head north from the Reckoner's waypoint. interact with the infusion. Skyscale of Death is found in the Cursed Shore. We are heading west from the Murdered Dreams waypoint. And on your marker, you'll see a chest that you will infuse with. Skyscale of Spirit is located in Iron Marches at the Declaw waypoint. And interact with the hero point.
You're a human. Aren't you supposed to hate this thing?
Skyscale of Fear is in the Fields of Ruin at the Fallen Angels Garrison waypoint. Follow the quest marker and attack the chickens until they attack you back. For Skyscale of Courage, you will need to defeat 4 world bosses. I have linked an event timer below. And for the recipe for an infused Skyscale egg, all we have to do is turn back into Trainer Diane. Hello everyone! Today I'm going to go over the Skyscale Growing Comforts as part of a new friend collection. This is my part 3 video. The first item, Skyscale Comfort List, you will automatically get when you turned your egg in. Keep in mind you will need 12 charged quartz crystals, unless you buy some treats from the Black Lion trading post, and on top of that you're also going to need 15 gold. To get started, for Skyscale Treat, you purchase it from the Skyscale Trainer Diane for 12 pieces of Skyscale food. The tricky part here is the charged quartz crystals, as you can only charge 1 a day. However, you can purchase the pieces of Skyscale food off of the Black Lion trading post. If you prefer to get the pieces of treats yourself, you can mine the quartz crystals. There is a rich mining node in the Crystal Desert, east of Destiny's Gorge waypoint. They also can be purchased from the Black Lion trading post. Also, if you have a quartz mining node in your home instance, there's actually a small chance to drop a charged quartz. For the next 9 items, the enemies that you defeat can be any level, however you're going to have a higher drop rate from champions. That being said, I don't think I defeated a single champion and I didn't have to kill that many enemies. Next up is the Tasty Krytus skin. This is a random drop from Krytus, which I got from doing Rift events. For Tasty Trail Ration, we need to defeat Jotun. I went to the Wayfarer Foothills and went north of the Ossenfold waypoint. Next is Tasty Devourer Carapace. I figured I always see them in Ascalon maps, so I went to the Plains of Ashford. I took the Feritas waypoint and went north. For Tasty Chalk Legs, there are a ton in the SOTO maps. For example, if you just head east of the Radanovus Promenade waypoint. For me, I just happened to get one in the Omnitask map while doing a rift. Tasty moss-covered bark, I looked for Oatharks. I went to Gandharan Fields and went north and northeast of the First Haven waypoint. Tasty Worm segment. I got mine in the SOTO Droknar's Light map. I went south of the waypoint and there are a couple there. If not, don't worry, you'll most likely see them when you're either in the Wayfarer foothills and also right next to the Devourers in Plains of Ashford. Tasty Ooze-Cured meat. I also grabbed this in a SOTO map. I went to Omnitas and west of the Bastion of the Natural Waypoint. You can find some around the water on ground level. For the Forged Ankle Joint, this can be done in the SOTO map Skyward Marches, and you can head east from the Astral Ward Encampment Waypoint. And since we're here, let me tell you this little short story. I decided it was a great idea to solo this champion surrounded by many ads. Things were not looking great, but I managed to rally, getting my Skyscale drop. I try and run away, but for some reason, decide to take one final glance over my shoulder, and I see in the distance a Skyscale coming this way, followed by one more. I think to myself, perhaps we can take this champion down, when the entire area floods with a group that just happens to be passing by. The champion melts away, and this feels like an epic moment that you would see on the TV and movie screens. Or at least that's how it felt to me. Moving on. The bird whistle you can purchase in ArenaNet Marches. Take the Glade Fall waypoint and speak with Gortho.
You have my attention.
The Plush Quaggan is found in the Wizard Tower. Take the Tower Courtyard waypoint and speak with Seven. The Heavy Duty Doliac Blanket is in Lorner's Pass. Take the Afghar's waypoint and speak with the Heart Merchant Lynot. Once complete, speak with Skyscale trainer Diane. Hello everyone! Today I'm going to go over the Skyscale saddle materials as part of a new friend collection. Heads up, you will need 29 Provisioner tokens, 375 pinches of Stardust, 375 static charges, and 500 Essence of Despair. So let's go over how to get those. For the Provisioner tokens, you can speak with a Faction Provisioner. So within the Horn of Maguma, which is our new SOTO maps, you'll pretty much find a Faction Provisioner merchant next to most of the waypoints or fairly close by. You can trade in materials for tokens, and for some merchants, it's only one trade a day. In the Wizard Tower, for a pricier trade, you can do more than one. You can also go to all the faction provisioners within the map and other maps. There's quite a few, so I'll link the wiki with a list of all the merchants below. Also, you seem to be able to get these from challenge mode raids, however that isn't something that I've touched on, so that's just what I'm hearing. For pinches of Stardust, they are earned by doing achievements and events in Omnitas. I've even gotten a few getting Skyscale orbs around the map. Static charges are earned from doing events in SKYWATCH, and you can also get them from the Skyscale orbs as well. And last, the Essence of Despair is earned by doing rifts. So just a side note, you're going to want to track down Tier 1 rifts, as Essence of Despair drops in both the pre-boss event and for the actual boss as well. Now, any tier rift will drop Essence of Despair in the pre-boss event. For the boss events, Tier 2 doesn't drop Essence of Despair, it drops Essence of Greed, and a Tier 3 would drop Essence of Triumph. Also, you'll get more drops if you have the Rift Mastery trained. So the rest of this guide should be rather quick, but here are the locations to purchase what you need where. For Stardust-Infused Leather, we are in the Bastion of the Natural and purchasing it from the Faction Provisioner for 3 Provisioner tokens and 125 pinches of Stardust. For the Mist-Infused Saddle Oil, we are at the Bastion of the Obscure waypoint, and it's going to cost you 3 Provisioner tokens and again 125 pinches of Stardust. For our Jade-Spun Silk Thread, we're in the Kestrel's Vow waypoint. Again, 3 Provisioner tokens, and this time 125 static charges. For the Durable Saddle Hardware, we are at the Bastion of Strength waypoint. 3 Provisioner tokens and 125 Essence of Despair. Our Rich Megumen Mahogany is at the Radanovis Promenade waypoint for 3 Provisioner tokens and 125 Essence of Despair. For our Saddlebag of Holding, we are in the Bastion of Balance waypoint, and it's going to cost you 3 Provisioner tokens and 125 pinches of Stardust. Our Deldrimor Rivets is at the Droknar's Light waypoint, and it costs 3 Provisioner tokens and 125 static charges. The Garenhoff-Weave Cloth is at the Beacon of Ages waypoint in the Wizard's Ascent for 3 Provisioner tokens and 125 Essence of Despair. Our Elonian Sandpaper is at the Astral Ward Encampment waypoint in the Skyward Marches for 2 Provisioner tokens and 125 static charges. And then our extra sticky tar is at the Bastion of Knowledge waypoint for 3 Provisioner tokens and 125 Essence of Despair. The next requirement after the Skyscale saddle materials is to train up Rising Spirits. It is under the Flight Training Mastery, and it is the very last one. And then, of course, when we are done, we are going to talk to Skyscale trainer Diane and turn it all in. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed. I hope that was helpful. And I don't know, maybe see you around. The DX Racer Craft Series Guild Wars 2 Edition. Gorgeous artwork front and back, plush memory foam headrest, and plenty of adjustments including lumbar support. Use code TIFFY for 5% off or my link in the video description below.